And hello, all of my fellow nerds out there. This is Local Nerd Richie, and welcome back to Our Life Now and Forever Prologue and Step 1 Demo. It has been a while since I was able to say this, but I finally have my own computer again. Yippee! And since I have my own computer again, this means I can finally get back to recording like I usually do. Also, a bit of an update. So this time around, I decided to get OBS off of Steam instead of where I got it from originally. And I tested it out a bit. It works a pretty good treat, so I'm sticking with that one from now on. Anyways, we- we're here to continue the story right from where we left off. Let's see. So here we go. The inviting scent of hot food hit you first with a whiff of smoke underneath. You could picture the grill with charred steaks and hamburgers sizzling. And there was coffee too, which somehow always smelled burnt even though it was mostly liquid. Maybe that was why coffee is so dark. Someone found a way to overcook water and other people decided to drink it, including your ma, who never had a morning without it. Rubbing your stiff hands up and down your goosebump covered arms, you glance around more. Who else decided to be at the diner table on a chilly Monday? A man in a trucker hat jabbing a knife into a thick cut of ham. Three sweater-clad women, each with a mug in hand, and some teenagers huddled in the back booths, splitting a stack of pancakes. Mostly, though, it was nobody. 10 times more people could fit, maybe 20 times, so you had a clear view of the room. The diner table was full of different colors. You could list off greens, oranges, blues, yellowish ones, but all of them were dark and faded, so it didn't feel colorful. Kind of like your classroom had grown up and gotten old and sleepy. You didn't mind. Nothing could always be new. Yeah, that seems fair. To your left, Tamarack had settled a little from her frenzy in the car. As thrilling as it was to visit a restaurant, you could only do it if you behaved. At least that was your guess. You knew Ma would want you to act appropriately. On your right, Shu stood nonchalantly, slowly shifting his weight from one foot to the other. There was nothing interesting to see there for a boy like him. Except for you. He kept smirking whenever he noticed you looking. Soon, a tall lady with tall hair came over from the kitchen to the main counter. She said she was the hostess and would show you to a table. Your mom negotiated for a booth instead. Plenty were open, after all. The woman agreed to those terms and grabbed some menus off the stand. Thank you. Ma let the employee lead from there. For her, the biggest treat is going to eat wasn't the food. It was once she was at the restaurant, her work was done. No cooking, or cleaning for a change. She didn't have a ma or dad or grandparents around to do that for her. So letting strangers she had to pay to do it was the best she could get. The hostess took you further into the restaurant, past the sweater gals, but not as far back as the pancake pals. She left a pile of menus on the table, thanked you for stopping in, promised your server would be there to help you soon, and walked away in a matter of seconds. Well, let's get comfortable. Me and Richard will sit together. The, that leaves the other one for you two. Okay. Yes, Miss O'Mac. That was so unfair. You could sit with your ma anytime. Tamrak was the first to clamber into the bench. She went to the very end of it and dumped her bag into a cushion. Chu took off his jacket before fitting himself beside her. Ma slid into the muted red sea with the multicolored geometric pattern across the top. Then she patted the outer spot for you to take. You got into the boot next to her. Oh, this is so cute! Tamrak busied herself by investigating the area in front of her. She had the same precaution as searching through the forest. She managed to discover a soup spoon and began fiddling with it. Chu rested his threaded hands on the tabletop. He leaned forward very slightly with a little bit like an interview. He was going to be asking you questions, or maybe he was preparing himself for your ma to evaluate his behavior. That was her job, but Chu didn't know that. This is nice. She spoke quietly while perusing her options. The diner table was had unwieldy menus as long as your entire arm. Ma didn't bother holding it upright. Instead, she flipped through the laminated pages with the menu lying flat. There was a lamp directly above their booth. It reflected blindly off the plastic, but between the glare you caught glimpses of colorful pictures and dotted in between the text. Egg sausages, French toast dusted with powdered sugar, a basket of chicken strips, steak and mashed potatoes, a bright green salad, and more. Diner food is in its purest form. Your curiosity was piqued. There was a lot of options. Look, there's a kids section. That'd be a good place to check, though since it's a special occasion, it is okay to get any meal, even the pricier ones. What? You're almost never allowed to do that. That goes for you too as well. Don't worry about anything, and get whatever food you prefer. Thank you. Yay! Any food and treating other kids? Ma really was in a good mood. Did she get a big bonus for moving or something? You could only imagine. But not for long because another person approached your table. Yusuf! Hello, I'm Yusuf. I'll be your waiter tonight. Thank you for coming. Great, hi. Yusuf had warm brown skin and warmer brown eyes, though his hair was a cool black. He kept it up with a neat ponytail. Just like me! What? Tail buddies! A heavy buckle-strapped apron with a checkered pattern hid his normal clothes. and a short beard covered much of his facial features. It didn't hide his welcoming smile. He held a generic notepad and pressed a pen on it, poised for taking notes. That made you think of Autumn right away. You only realized you'd started staring at him when his smile curled up on Chu's face. He probably got why you were looking without needing to say so. You've been thinking of him, and he knew it. That was only fair. Chu thought a lot about you too. A secret joke passed, and Chu turned away from you to address the server. Hey. Huh? Since when was he that casual with adults? He didn't know. Mostly that casual with adults he didn't know. From the way Chu was with your ma, the one-word greeting came as a complete shock. Only to you, though. Yusuf responded with an even less expected way. Hey, this is not the usual company for you. That's right, things are changing around here. You'd forgotten for a second that Chu knew everybody and everything, even the random waiter at the diner. Are they? Yusuf's eyes narrowed in consideration for a second. Next, Ma got special interest for him, though a different kind. Instead of looking sharply, his expression opened up in wonder. How do you know Chu, if I ask? You may. We're his new neighbors. Ma said with a pleased tap on the menu in front of her. We moved into Golden Grove just yesterday, actually. Immediately, Ma added a clarification. She patted her hand in the air between herself and you. Yesterday for me and him. She then pointing the tail rack on the opposite side, Yuma continued. Moved in a bit before us. She's not mine. Neither is Chu, of course. I did get permission to take them out to dinner. However, it's all above board. Tamrak smushed the silver spoon into her cheek. She grinned at Yusuf as best as she could with a utensil pressing down on her cheek. There was an immediate shift in the man's attitude. He took the pen from the paper and instead folded his broad arms. Talking to a server or someone behind the counter was really different than talking to him when they weren't working. Probably because when a person's doing a job, everything they were meant to say was decided by a boss or a whole giant company. All of a sudden, it seems like Mr. Yusuf, the waiter, had clocked out. welcome to town. Can I ask your names? Sure. I'm Obulomac. This is my child Richard. And Tamarack. I saw you before with my Omi and Opa. Opa liked your beard. I thought that might have been you. Give your Opa my thanks. His beard was nice as well. I, I am Kian Yusuf. I also live in Golden Grove. He recited an introduction exactly the way Chu would have wanted him to. Well, besides spelling it out. Kian Yusuf must have questioned how you knew Chu first, but you were wondering the same thing about him. He lifted the notepad in front of his chest, returning to being a waiter. Can I get you anything to drink? Just water is fine. Yeah, you could have said that for her. It doesn't matter how big the occasion it was, paying for drinks at a restaurant was still going too far. Then let me rephrase. What I mean to say is, please get a drink. It'll be on the house. Oh no, you don't need to do that. I know, but I would like to do it. I'm only filling in as a server tonight. I am allowed to make those decisions. Even when insisting on something, Mr. Yusuf had a gentle way of putting his words. He could have been the narrator for a storybook, no problem. We are all neighbors in this town. In a town this small. Chu nodded along, even gave a thumbs up. They were in cahoots. Was there some kind of secret welcome committee in Golden Grove, and everybody was a part of it? What harm is there in being hospitable to those you'll be seeing often? If you want to return the favor, come back another day. Well, you make a good point, Yusuf. Just being honest. Your mom would have told him if he was saying nonsense. Only reasonable arguments could be tolerated, and Mom was practical, not a stickler. If you're sure, I'll have a cup of water and, a root beer. Extra ice. I haven't had that in years, and I feel festive. Ma's newly chipper mood was contagious, and Yusuf gave a rumbly chuckle. It's a festive day, is it? I imagine you're celebrating a new home. I could add a scoop of ice cream to that. She boggled at Yusuf and his many sweet suggestions, though with a smile. There was no reason to go through the process of accepting a kind gesture again. Ma embraced it wholeheartedly. A root beer float is fine. A root beer float it is. Root beer float. He repeated her words as he wrote them down, speaking even more softly than before. Whoa, your mom, a person who never ordered anything more exciting than water with a slice of lemon in your entire life, was gonna get a root beer float. Having confirmed that drinks would be free brought new light to Mr. Chu Lin. He continued to put Yusuf in a separate category from other adults. No best behavior required. The gloves were completely off now. Not literally. He leaned over on one elbow and put an accented voice when he used whenever he talked about Baxter. Waiter, give me a hot chocolate, and I want whipped cream and chocolate syrup on top. After how indulgent Yusuf had been with Ma, Chu's request was met with flat skepticism. Chu's returned Yusuf's stare with $1 million smile. It was easy to act like that, like you were a rich person when nothing had to be paid for. Yusuf put a hand to the table and lowered himself towards the younger boy, like it was some kind of negotiation. In a way, it was. I will give it to you, but the powder will be stirred into the water. Water? Is he lactose intolerant? Your mom blinked and stammered. That was news to her. It was news to you too. Yusuf stood tall once again, and he told the facts straight. He is. Mr. and Mrs. Lin only let him have hot chocolate occasionally because of that, and only when it's made with water. Not being able to have milk must have been tough. Yeah, because I myself am not lactose intolerant. We actually do drink we actually do have almond milk nowadays, but I can still drink regular milk just fine. It's my grandmother that's lactose intolerant, fortunately. You never forget that you couldn't have milk. That was an important thing to know. They may not be here in person, but I still followed with their wishes. fine. You can make it with water. You just witnessed an incredible downside of being so well known. Everybody was aware of what you weren't supposed to be doing and could call you out on it. Though Chu was a compromiser, not a quitter. Can I still have the whipped cream? That's the most important part. Chu squeezed his hands together, and a person at an interview post morphed into a pitiful beggar act. This big shot rich guy attitude sure hasn't lasted long. Yusuf remained calm in the face of such pleading, merely scratching his hairy chin. Because I respect your parents, I won't give their son a full cup of milk. But because I'm not your parent, I can look past a bit of whipped cream today. Yeah, thanks, Uncle. Hot chocolate secured. Chu smoothly transferred his tilt from his right elbow out towards the world to the left, and the one inward to the table. He's not a real uncle. Kids he knows just get to call him that. Like how Tamarack's Omi is everybody's granny. Oh wow. Really? Mm-hmm. You got a new granny and now you might have an uncle too? He was already offering presents. The small family of Ma and you was getting a whole lot bigger. Tamara couldn't remain quiet any longer. You were honestly surprised she'd waited as long as she did. Wide-eyed and rambling, Tamarack went through the process of requesting a special drink. Do you have tea? Yes, of course, various types. Then I want chamomile or apple cinnamon, please. Okay. And it has to have sugar and milk in it. Of course. Do you have honey? Yusuf added notes one after the other, keeping track of what she didn't want, likely would have been easier. He laughed about it. Yes, I'll bring out everything we have for teas to you. The young lady swished her spoon around the conductor's baton, like a conductor's baton. The drink order had been a grand opera. Wonderful. You should get something fun. It's the first day of school. That's the dumb reason to celebrate. Now, what do you want, Richard? You pointed on the menu at what you wanted. You told the waiter what you were thinking yourself. And what you said was... Oh, we have a lot of options for drinks. Honestly, if I were to pick any drink as my signature drink, it would just be a glass of Coca-Cola. No, like really, like a glass of Coca-Cola is such a good freaking drink. Like, yeah, I know it's standard, but it's standard for some people. But to me, it just has one of those flavors you can't forget. Like, it's not that I would prefer it over Pepsi. I like both it and Pepsi equally. But as though I want to say as a kid, I really loved orange soda. Even though it probably would have made my teeth rot, I loved orange soda. It's my favorite flavor. Nothing beats it. Let's see. You know, since it's a special one, how about Shirley Temple? Like, I've actually had a Shirley Temple before. It's really good. Do you have Shirley Temples? A Shirley Temple. After a nod, Yusuf transferred the pen to the same hand that held the notepad. He lowered them both. I'll return shortly with your drinks. Please take a minute to browse the menu. He left you there, leaving with wide, purposeful strides. Ma watched him walk away. Small town hospitality is a real treat, isn't it? Yeah. He quietly glanced through the meal options. During that time, the man who had the ham and the hat left. The ham was gone. He still had the hat. Then Yusuf reappeared to serve a round of drinks. You put in the dinner order before he left you to enjoy his gift. And enjoy you did. From the very first sip, it was so yummy. Chu knocked back his mug of hot chocolate with gusto and got whipped cream mustache to his efforts. Tamarack poured in so much milk and sugar and honey that her tea spilled over the top of the cup. She got to level it back down by bringing her face near the table and sucking up the drink without touching the glass. Finally, she made use of the spoon she had been cradling the entire time and mixed a sweet slurry. A little more dribbled down the sides. Yama savored the once-in-a-decade root beer float as slowly as possible. She didn't care if the ice cream melted. Nothing was loud or fast or busy at the diner table. A person pretty much had to take it easy in a place like that. There was no other way to be. When it arrived, the main course tasted okay. Food was food, and you better not be hungry. Tamarack and Shoes stuck to grown-up appropriate conversations over dinner, like what you learn in class. There was a lot of things kids could only talk about with each other. Ma shared all about her day, including a horrifying story about how she thought there was a mouse in the master bedroom. But after catching it underneath one of the moving boxes, it turned out to be a larger than normal heap of dust. She insisted a bad lighting in there could have fooled anyone. Then the food was gone. Sort of. Oh, please. You're giving me a choice between these two. One little fact you guys should know about me is that when it comes to food, my stomach is a literal black hole. I could literally eat anything off of a plate. Like if I'm hungry enough, I will literally eat an entire freaking what's it called? I'll eat a whole calzone along with some wings to fill my stomach. And sure, that may not sound like much, but trust me, it is. You were able to finish every bite. Your ma didn't. Ma hardly touched half of the size that came with her home-style meatloaf. She planned to take them home and add it to her lunch tomorrow. In a rare event, Shu and Eric and you were all a total match. They left not one crumb nor a single drop either. The plates that were empty got stacked and used napkins were piled on top. Your mom made sure the table was neat as a mess of dirty stuff can be. The tower of dishes caught the waiter's attention, and Yusuf approached your booth once more. He always had something in hand when he stopped by. This time it was a frayed fox leather folder. Yusuf placed it at the table. You got a much better look then. In gold letters, the top said, "Thank you." He brought the check before Ma needed to ask for it. "Hello, I hope you enjoyed your meals." "They were wonderful, thank you for asking, and thank you again for the drinks." Ma's praise brought a grin to Yusuf's face. The local waiter toyed with a buckle on his apron, straightening it like it was a medal of honor pinned to his chest. He served his customers well that night. "Thanks for coming in. You pay at the front." "Sure, I'll handle it. Oh, and can we get a couple to-go boxes?" "Yes." "That's great. One more question." Ma lowered her voice in an exaggerated, strained whisper as though the people in the next booth over were secretly listening to their conversation. "The diner table?" She seriously needed an answer to that. Is that a pun on purpose, or did someone miss an N? Grimacing, Yusuf glanced over his shoulder. He shared her pain and her concern about being heard. I would not have chosen that, but if it had been up to me. But yes, that isn't the intended name. Huh. There you have it. That's all. Thank you for your gracious help tonight, Yusuf. We feel extremely welcomed. Glad to hear it. Good night, everyone. Bye. Thank you. Yusuf offered one last friendly smile, then took the pile of dishes and 2 cups off the kitchen. "Could you stand up a minute, dear? I need to get past." You scooted over at your seat as she asked. Ma had a few words as she got to her feet. "Stay in the booth while I'm gone. I'll come right back. Then we'll pack up the leftovers and head home. Okay?" "Yep." Slept in the opposite direction Yusuf had gone. Her footsteps were muted thumps against the thin carpet. You had a booth to yourself then. None of the grown-ups were left. When she was sure of that, he abruptly stretched himself farther across the table, poised like he was ready to pounce. "I found the stuff." And that was as long as he could hold a straight face, too abrupt with laughter. "I can't believe you broke into my backyard again." "How did you know I've gone in there before?" "You have? I was talking about Richie." "Oh." Yeah, I gone through there lots of times. Whenever I want to get to the path. We want we wanted you to we wanted you to have a surprise. You deserve something nice. Did you like it? Woohoo! Success. uh, did you like it? It was pretty cool. Thanks. Timurick was brimming with pride over the results of her adventure. She sighed softly and the patting stopped. He had returned to peace. And then Timurick gave a big stretch. You could watch her reach up her arms and the spoon, and you could sense the movement of her legs under the table. Omi and Opa might really be asleep when I get home this time. Hmm. Do, what are you gonna do? Maybe I'll have to sleep outside. I'll hide under a bush in my backyard. What? Not really. They'll get up. Sheesh, Tamrak. What was all what was all she wanted to, that was all she wanted to say about it. And Tamrak started to talk about a totally different thing. She chattered while tapping her heels against the back support of the booth. I came to this diner place a few days ago. Before that I'd never seen it. Cool. I've I've been here tons of times. Me and my mom and dad are regulars. Wow, I've never been a regular anywhere. I bet you could be now. 2 down, 8 to go for Tamarack. 1 down, 9 to go for Richie. Or something. It could be a dozen visits that makes somebody a regular. Or 20? Choose attempts at giving regular advice tapered into nothing. He might have been 1, but putting a number on what made somebody normal somewhere wasn't easy. Hmm. Oh, guess what, Richie? That question came with a little chuckle. Omi and Opa weren't going to let me come again for weeks because of you because of you they were wrong. Thanks for bringing me, Richie. You're welcome. Her bright eyes fluttered closed. The patting of her feet kept going. It was the only sound left. Full and warm and sleepy, you felt every second of what you've been through lately. You've done so much and met a lot of people. How did that much happen in only 2 days? It was unbelievable. Against your will, your body slid lower into the booth. Gravity was suddenly a lot harder to resist. Sitting tall was no longer an option. Your drowsy gaze wandered towards the window and the dark night beyond. There'd been nothing in the parking lot besides the diner, not even lampposts. You hadn't expected to look at anything in particular, but it was raining. That you could see. Water streamed down the glass pane. Some point between when you did. Some point between when walked from the car into the diner table, and the first sprinkle of fall began. The first sprinkle of fall began. Inside, you could hear it happening even a little. The thump 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 of Tamarack's boots were a close match, though. And regular ranges got away, but real storms were exciting. I'm gonna be honest. I never really liked the rain. Like I always hated rain as a kid. Like it gets you all soaked. You have potential of getting sick from the rain. It was the worst. Like honestly, I actually would have preferred snow over rain any day. Oh, wrong button. Norway was nice, but it was scary if thunder or lightning happened. Rain wasn't good ever, but it was even more terrible when there was a thunder and lightning. I think thunderstorms are cool, but it's just regular rain that I didn't like. Why would you want to get drenched? Yeah, that was mostly me. Already dreading having to go out in a drizzle, you frowned at the back panel. Each time you opened your eyes after a slow, heavy blink, the patter of droplets clinging to the window changed. There were endless orange and red and yellow and gold leaves in the grove, but that wasn't everything striking about the current season. The weather was with thick gray clouds that showered the world was just as important to the core autumnness of the place. You didn't like it, but when you thought of fall, the picture in your head was leaves and drops of falling water. Water or water dropping. Or falling water. Water falling. I can't read. And it had arrived. You'd arrived too. When your family wanted to go out to eat, you went to the local diner, and the waiter there treated you with special because you were a local. When you needed to leave, you had a house with a room that was all set up and waiting for you to go back to. When tomorrow came, you'd continue your studies at the student North Acre Elementary School. You were in room number 24 with Mrs. Murray for the teacher. When you saw your neighbors, you know who they all were. And you had friends. You're gonna be in that place for the rest of autumn. You'd be there still for winter and when the new year came. Seasons would be coming and going with you in Golden Grove, for you weren't sure how long. What you did know was that every moment was now your life. Oh, that was a cool little animation. Oh, you were finally at the moment selection. Oh my god, finally. Um, yeah, guys, the first four parts and partly of this video was just the frickin' prologue. It was just the opening of the game. That's how crazy this is. Oh, God, this is way bigger than Beginning and Always, I'm not gonna lie. Now that you're beginning your life in Golden Grove, you may want to check back on the details of your character or update them. The info button on the right side of the screen will bring up the menu with several options. First is the option of your details. Here you can change your sticker to swap between multiple sets of pronouns if applicable, toggle dress-up selections on and off, update your nickname preferences. By default, most characters will obey your general nickname preferences, and unless you manually sort them into one of the provided categories. However, if you tell someone in the game to use or stop using your nickname, they will automatically change categories. New characters will be added to the screen as you meet them. You can also check your relationships with Chew and Tamarack, with the Chew relationship and Tamarack relationship buttons on the left. Enjoy your time in Golden Grove. Oh, this is so cool! Oh, look at all this. Okay, well, we only have 2 moments to go through. And this video is already 30 minutes. I feel like if I left it here, then we would have to do the step 1 moments in the next episode. But we also have a preview for step 2. And I don't want to look at that just yet. Okay, I'm gonna change Oh, wait, what? Oh! Oh! That's cool. I didn't know I could drag around the stickers. Okay, then. Wait. Oh, wait, it's in the info, right? Your details. Yeah, look at this. Terms neutral leaning. Huh? Not sure what it means by neutral leaning. Oh wait, no, I picked that, didn't I? Oh, I'm dumb. Alright. Well, anyways, I think that's actually a good moment for us to stop this video here. I know this video is a bit short, is actually half the length of the previous videos, or at least a third shorter, I guess, but actually, wait, 2/3 shorter. But I want to do these moments in the next video, and since I finally have my own computer again, yippee, I can finally choose when I want to stop these episodes. So, anywho, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Be sure to leave a like, comment what you think, share this video with your friends, and be sure to subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss a single notification. I'll see all of you in the next video. Goodbye. You say you wanna try, but you never do.
there's a reason why